The signal from beyond. The UES frontier drifted silently through the void, its sophisticated sensors sweeping the darkness beyond the Kuiper Belt. Commander Eliza Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on a holographic display that showed nothing but empty space and distant stars. This was supposed to be a routine patrol mission, the kind that career officers dreaded for their monotony. 3 months of scanning, reporting, and scanning again. Another thrilling day protecting humanity from absolutely nothing. Lieutenant Rodriguez quipped from his station, breaking the silence. Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Be careful what you wish for, Lieutenant. I've served long enough to know that excitement in deep space usually means someone's about to have a very bad day." "Commander," called Ensign Park from the communications array, her voice suddenly tense. "I'm receiving something unusual." Chen straightened. "Define unusual, Ensign. It's not matching any known pattern, human or otherwise. But it's definitely artificial, repeating on a precise cycle." Park's fingers danced across her console. "And it's coming from well beyond our territorial boundary." "Let's hear it," Chen ordered. A haunting sequence of pulses filled the bridge. Not random noise, but not immediately recognizable as language either. Something about it raised the hair on Chen's arms. "Analysis suggests it's a distress beacon," Park continued, "but using frequencies and patterns we've never documented before." Chen studied the signal's origin point on the star chart. It was coming from a system designated only by coordinates, too distant to have received proper exploration or naming. "How old is this signal?" "Based on degradation and distance, approximately 78 years, Commander." The bridge fell silent. 78 years meant whatever sent this signal had likely been waiting for a response since before most of them were born. "Plot a course," Chen decided, "and inform Earth Command that we're investigating a potential first contact scenario." 3 weeks later, the frontier entered an unremarkable yellow dwarf system with 11 planets. The signal originated from the Fourth World, a once habitable planet now scared by massive impact craters visible even from orbit. Atmospheric analysis shows traces of nuclear detonation. Science Officer Takeda reported grimly. "Multiple sites. Whatever happened here wasn't natural." "Life signs?" Chen asked. "None detectable. But there's a structure on the northern continent still emitting power signatures. That's our signal source." The landing party consisted of Chen, Takeda, and 4 security officers. Their shuttle descended through wisps of radiation-tainted clouds, landing near a partially collapsed dome structure half buried under debris. Inside, they found the remnants of a civilization, not human, but remarkably similar in their technological approach. Curved displays, ergonomic interfaces, artifacts suggesting beings with manipulative appendages not unlike hands. This was their last stand, Takeda murmured, scanning a room filled with what appeared to be cryogenic chambers. All failed, their occupants long dead. They were trying to preserve themselves. Chen approached a still-functioning terminal, its soft blue glow the only light in the dim chamber. As she drew near, it responded, projecting a 3-dimensional image of a being, tall, slender, with 4 arms and large compound eyes. The being spoke, its voice translated by their systems with increasing accuracy as the AI worked through the linguistic patterns. "To whoever finds this message, beware the necks. They consume all. They cannot be reasoned with. They follow resource signatures across the stars. If you are hearing this, they are already coming for you." The message continued, explaining how these beings, who called themselves the Miri, had detected unusual energy emissions from a distant star system. They had investigated, hoping to find allies, only to encounter the Nex, a predatory species that seemed to exist solely to expand and consume. The Miri fought for decades, Chen reported later, as the frontier accelerated away from the dead world. But they were peaceful explorers, not warriors. The Nix systematically destroyed their colonies, harvesting resources, and moving on. This final outpost was attempting to warn others. "And the signal origin that brought us here?" Rodriguez asked. "A trap," Chen said quietly. "The Miri beacon drew the Nyx to them, and now it's drawn us too." The sensors alarmed moments later. 3 vessels had appeared, seemingly from nowhere, on an intercept course. Unlike the elegant human ships with their gleaming hulls and visible propulsion systems, these were irregular, almost organic in appearance. Black masses that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "Hail them," Chen ordered. No response came. Instead, the alien vessels accelerated, their formation spreading to surround the frontier. "They're charging weapons," Rodriguez shouted. "Configuration unknown. Evasive maneuvers. Red alert." Chen had barely finished the command when the first impact hit. It wasn't an explosion or energy beam as they understood weapons. Instead, a rippling distortion washed over the ship, and suddenly half their systems simply shut down. "What the hell was that?" Chen demanded, steadying herself against her command chair. "Some kind of targeted EMP," engineering reported. "But selective. It only affected certain systems." A second wave hit before they could respond. This time, the ship's artificial gravity fluctuated wildly, sending crew members crashing against bulkheads and ceilings. "They're toying with us," Chen realized. "Testing our defenses." The third attack was direct. A beam of intense energy that carved through their hull plating like it was paper, decompressing 2 decks instantaneously. Damage reports flooded in as Chen ordered a desperate counterattack. The Frontier's railguns and missile systems fired, only to watch their ordnance seemingly dissolve before reaching the alien vessels. "They're adapting to our weapons," Takeda said, voice steady despite the chaos. "Each attack is more effective than the last." Chen made the only decision she could: initiate the Sentinel protocol. Rodriguez looked up sharply. "Commander, that's only authorized for—" "I know exactly what it's for, Lieutenant. Do it." The Sentinel protocol was Frontier's last resort, an emergency measure that would jettison the ship's data core with all sensor logs and discoveries, aimed toward Earth with a specialized propulsion system. It would reach home even if they didn't. "Package away," Rodriguez confirmed moments later. "Trajectory optimal." Chen nodded grimly. "Now prep the jump drive. We're going to give that package a head start." Against all protocols and safety parameters, Chen ordered a faster-than-light jump inside the gravity well of the system's star. The maneuver was suicidal. The gravitational distortion would likely tear the ship apart, but it would also create a shockwave that might disable their pursuers. As the Frontier's damaged engines trained toward overload, Chen recorded her final message. "This is Commander Eliza Chen of the UES Frontier. We have encountered a hostile species designated Nyx with technology far beyond our current capabilities. They destroyed the Miri civilization and will target Earth next. The Sentinel protocol has been initiated with all our findings. Prepare for war." The Frontier tore itself apart during the desperate jump, but it accomplished Chen's final objective. Their data core was safely away, racing toward Earth with a warning that would arrive months before the next could follow. Humanity unleashed. Admiral Victor Kazan stood before the Emergency Council, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic projection of the Nyx vessels. 8 months had passed since the Frontier's data core had arrived with Commander Chen's final warning. 8 months of frantic preparation. "These beings destroyed the Frontier in less than 15 minutes, Kazan stated flatly. "A ship that represented the pinnacle of our defensive capabilities. Conventional warfare is not an option." General Diana Reeves, commander of Earth's orbital defense platforms, leaned forward. "Then what exactly are you proposing, Admiral?" Kazan's eyes swept the room. "It's time to activate Project Prometheus." A murmur ran through the assembled officials. Project Prometheus had been the military's most closely guarded secret for decades, a weapons development program so controversial that its very existence was classified beyond top secret. "Those weapons were banned under the Mars Treaty," objected the Chinese representative. "For good reason." The Mars Treaty assumed we were the most dangerous things in our corner of the galaxy, Kazan replied. We now know that assumption was catastrophically wrong. The debate raged for hours, but the decision was inevitable. Long-range sensors had already detected the Nix fleet approaching the outer solar system. Humanity had perhaps 3 weeks before they reached Earth. Project Prometheus was revealed to be not one weapon but 3. Gravitational disruptors that could tear apart matter at the atomic level, adaptive nanite swarms that could infiltrate and reprogram enemy systems, and quantum phase shields that existed partially outside normal spacetime, theoretically impervious to conventional attacks. We never deployed these technologies because the potential for catastrophic misuse was too great, explained Dr. Sanvi Mehta, the project's lead scientist. But they represent humanity's best hope now. A volunteer fleet was assembled, comprising 12 converted battleships equipped with the experimental weapons. Among the volunteers was Captain Miguel Santos, formerly Chen's Academy classmate, who requested command of the flagship, renamed the Chen in honor of the Frontier's commander. We'll intercept them at Proxima Centauri, Kazan instructed. Draw them into battle before they can reach our solar system. The fleet departed immediately, utilizing Earth's most advanced FTL drives to reach the ambush point before the Nix arrived. For 5 tense days, they waited in the shadow of Proxima's asteroid belt, sensors passive, weapons primed. When the Nix fleet emerged from hyperspace, 27 ships strong, humanity struck first. The gravitational disruptors activated simultaneously, creating localized singularities that immediately tore 3 Nix vessels apart. Before the aliens could respond, the nanite swarms launched, microscopic clouds that penetrated the nearest enemy ships and began subverting their systems. But the Nix adapted quickly. Their central vessels emitted pulses that neutralized the nanites, while their formation shifted to evade the gravitational weapons. They returned fire with the same energy beams that had carved through the frontier, only to discover their attacks dissipated harmlessly against the quantum shields. For the first time in their long predatory history, the Nix faced an adversary that could match them technologically. The battle raged across the Proxima system. Human casualties mounted as the Nix found weaknesses in the quantum shields, but the alien losses were greater. The Chen led a daring attack run against the largest Nix vessel, presumed to be their command ship, only to be caught in a crossfire that disabled its main drives. Engineering reports critical damage to the phase shield generators, Santos' first officer reported. We can't take another direct hit. Santos studied the tactical display, noting how the Nix vessels were adjusting their formation to protect their flagship. They're coordinating too perfectly, he realized. There must be a central command structure. A transmission interrupted his thoughts. Dr. Mehta from the science vessel Oppenheimer. Captain, we've detected a pattern in their communications. There's a single control frequency coordinating their adaptive responses. Can we disrupt it? Not from here, Mehta replied. The signal originates from within their flagship. But if someone could get close enough. Santos made his decision instantly. Prepare the gravitational package. I'm taking the Chen in. Despite protests from Admiral Kazan, Santos ordered his crew to evacuate while he remained aboard, manually piloting the crippled vessel on a collision course with the Nix flagship. The Chen's remaining engines pushed it forward as enemy fire raked its hull. This is for Eliza, Santos whispered as he activated the ship's final weapon. A concentrated gravitational disruptor designed to implode rather than expand. The Chen rammed into the Nix flagship's central section and detonated. The resulting gravitational collapse created a miniature black hole that existed for less than a second, long enough to consume both ships and create a devastating shockwave that disabled the Nix command network. Without centralized coordination, their adaptive defenses failed. The remaining human vessels pressed their advantage, methodically destroying the disorganized enemy fleet. 3 hours later, it was over. Of the original 12 human ships, only 5 remained operational. But the Nix threat had been eliminated. In the aftermath, Humanity recovered technology from the destroyed alien vessels that advanced their understanding of physics by centuries. The surviving Prometheus weapons were secured under a new international treaty, to be used only in defense against existential threats. A monument was erected in orbit around Earth, bearing the names of the Frontier's crew and Captain Santos. Beneath them was inscribed Commander Chen's final transmission, ending with words that became humanity's new doctrine for the stars. We come in peace, but we are prepared for war. As Earth's newly unified defense forces began expanding throughout nearby systems, they discovered something unexpected. Other intelligent species, hiding from the Nyx, now cautiously reaching out to the civilization that had done what none thought possible. Humanity had earned its place in the galaxy, not just through technological prowess, but through the willingness to sacrifice for a greater cause. In the decades that followed, as Earth established diplomatic relations with a dozen different species, the legend of the Frontier and the Chen became the foundation of a new interstellar alliance, one built on mutual protection against the darkness between the stars.